Alright, we are getting into our first league match of the day. Prez's team going to be facing off against Team Penguins. Should prove to be an exciting match. Happy to be here, guys. This is House Party 5v5. My name is Anson. Glad to have you all with us. Thanks for tuning in, joining me in the co-caster's chair. Going to be my good friend Donkey's Puncher.
Life partners at this point.
Life
really?
partners.
Feels good.
Swain and Vivans coming out on the blue side, on the red side. Got Azir, not surprising to see that Azir get banned out. A lot of players in the league recently have taken up Azir and have done some pretty good things with him. I've seen Apricot playing him, I think, a few times pretty well. Quite a few people giving him a good shot. He's a champion that's really coming to his own lately. Fizz also coming out on the red side. And Morgana Van being targeted. I'm going to guess that's being targeted at the support on the red side. One more ban left for red side. Milkshake hovering over, making his final decision. And it's going to be Thresh. Not a surprise there either. We're going to go ahead and hit those summoner hiders, turn those on. Only the casters will be able to see the summoner spells. Lone Wolf subbing in for Prez's team. They're going to take a 40% point penalty on that one, just because the sub was not registered. But better than 0 points. Milkshake hovering over that Lee Sin, and Mango Dave, the big sleeper hit of the tournament, deciding what he's going to lock in as well. Now, according to some of the documentation I have over here, Mango Dave's going to be playing the support role for his team.
You have documentation?
I have documentation.
Has it been notarized?
No, it has not, so it's still up in the air. He could take that cow anywhere, but he has locked in the Alistar Milkshake. Go ahead and lock in the Pantheon. Zark and Kenyo are up next in the pick order.
I'm trying to predict who they're going to pick based on these bans, like who's really strong versus these champions, or if they're just general bans, but I don't know. Do you have any predictions? Who's good right now? I for some reason I'm smelling like an Ari or a LeBlanc pickup this game. I feel like both those champions are pretty strong.
And looks like we're going to see the Karma come across instead. Again, not sure who's picking for who at this point, but you know, if we take a look at the roster, Mango Dave's going to be support. Yanopa, of course, going to be playing the AD carry spot. He's up next to pick. Milkshake coming in for the jungler. Orange Media going to be playing the mid lane spot, and Penguins will be taking the top lane spot. Of course, on the other side, Sankenyo is going to be playing support, so that's probably going to be a support Karma coming for him. Yanopa going to be playing the Tristana this game. That's an interesting pickup for him. I expected his Vayne to get banned out, didn't get banned out, and he didn't pick it up, so maybe he's got something up his sleeve this time around.
Do you think that this is going to be a jungle Nest, or do you think this is going to be a jungle Jarvan? I mean, the money's on jungle Jarvan, but it really could go either way, I guess. We haven't seen a lot of jungle Nessus in a long period of time, so I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, it's pretty clear that Pantheon's going to be jungling, but either of these two could be the jungler.
Could be. Zark is registered as Prez's jungler. Prez taking up the marksman spot. Alcathos in the mid lane, and Dr. Peyote.
Twisted Fate.
Okay, so
interesting. Alright. What were you saying?
Looks like Alcathos is going to be taking Twisted Fate into the mid lane more than likely.
Alright, I'm smelling Twisted Fate jungle, Jarvan mid. Alright, they're just doing the switcheroo. You know what I'm saying here? You gotta think outside the box.
I think
80 jungle.
I think all the cards are on the table. This is when it really matters, and I think all of the fluff, all of the troll from the in-house games is going to go away, and people have put their try-hard pants on, and they are ready to fight.
All right. Well, I mean, it'd still be pretty good. There's LeBlanc. You got to pick an assassin into Twisted Fate. I mean, the only problem with LeBlanc is that she doesn't quite push as hard into it, but obviously it has assassination potential. So
Sure.
um, you gotta. I mean, I would like to see an Ari pick up. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right.
All right.
Kisses.
All
Kisses.
right.
It's almost like I'm psychic or that he can hear me.
It's almost like they can hear us.
It's crazy. But yeah, no, this is a really good matchup for Ari. This is gonna allow her to like push the lane versus a Twisted Fate and also still have like assassination potential. So I feel like that's a really good pickup. LeBlanc was a close second though.
Yeah, I like both picks. I think the Ari's a bit more appropriate here, um, just for the push potential, the roam potential, the catch potential. Just a lot going on with Ari. Ari's a good, solid all-around champ. Mango Dave, it's going to be interesting to see how he meshes with Opa, because there's a lot of skill disparity there, and I'm wondering if Opa has coached him, if they thought up this Alistar strategy, or if they're just going into this cold. There's a lot really up in the air with this.
Well, I mean, I'm going to tell you right now. I don't know with the Corki nerfs. It shouldn't affect him too much, but Corki and Karma on paper should dumpster Alistair Tristana on paper in the early game. Obviously, Tristana's just that champion that just like outscales, but it's really, really, really hard for Alistair and Tristana to try and make plays when there's so much CC, so much poke, and so much mobility on the Karma and the Corki lane. Obviously, it's going to come down to who can do the poke and who can do the all-in, better. But
we're going to go ahead and take those summoner hiders off, and it does look like Jarvan will be headed into the jungle. Sark's going to be piloting that champion Milkshake. We'll be playing opposite on the Pantheon. Everything else is as we discussed it. Nasus versus Gnar in the top lane. That should be an interesting matchup there. And of course, Malkatho's going to be going against Orange Media, so we'll see how that turns out. Casters are going to go ahead and take a short break. We will see you guys post loading screen. Thank you again for joining us on our premiere week of House Party 5v5. Be right back. All right, welcome back, folks. The champions have been summoned. Our first official match of the winter season, House Party 5v5, is underway, and the teams are hitting the rift. If you're just now joining us, we did have to have a sub for the blue side. That, of course, going to be Team Venom, captained by their AD carry Prez.
Who is the sub exactly? Which player?
Lone Wolf Kirito.
Okay.
Unregistered sub, so they're going to have to take a 40% point penalty, win or loss, on this game due to the fact they did not register him prior to the Saturday games. But a lot better than having a disqualification. We did have a disqualification in our first match of the season, our first match of the day as well. Team Oats and Squats, their jungler Horse Doctor, just was not able to make it today.
It's unfortunate. Well, I'm sure they'll bounce back.
We'll see. They've got another game, I believe, on the schedule for today. Yes, they are scheduled to play the last game of the day against Victorious Secret, Jaren's team. So we'll see if they're able to show up, make up for that disqualification. You know, it's not too many points difference between a loss and a no-show. Most points you can get for a loss around 15 max, but you know, 100 points for a win. So definitely want to go for that win. If they show up again today for the last match of the night and are able to get a win, then that's pretty much 1-1. Not so bad.
A lot of poke going on in this bot lane. It's going somewhat of how I expected it. I mean, the Karma Corki lane just has so much damage level 1, just so much poke.
Prez getting right up in Dave and Opa's face. Sankenyo throwing that bolt out right there. Gets good shot on Mango Dave right there. So a lot of harass going down. You know, Opa's one of those AD carries that shines in the mid and late game, and his lane phase is not known for being the strongest in the league. And his support, Mango Dave, is going to need to pull something out here. Oh, Opa taking a lot of damage. The headbutt coming across from Mango Dave, getting Sankenyo out of there, but that's just leaving them a lot worse for wear. Heading back into this, they are chugging those potions, trying to get back into a good position. Prez is just zoning Opa out. He's not having a good time at all, just trying to get in there, trying to, you know, CS where he can, when he can, but they're going to have to play on the back foot here. Opa's going to have to realize that he's going to miss out on some CS. Just the way the matchup is looking for them right now. They need to get underneath the safety of that turret, away from the skill shots, and just make the best of a bad situation at this point.
Well, I mean, it's going to basically boil down to them just being pushed in and having to be content with that. And hopefully they don't get dove. Hopefully they don't get sort of bursted underneath the tower. But it looks like all their other lanes are doing really well, if not winning super hard. So all they have to do is sort of just keep in the game, try and keep the farm close, and just not die. And I think they'll come out ahead because obviously Tristana is going to scale just harder than Corki.
And Lone Wolf getting outclassed a little bit here in the top lane. He's getting pushed back quite substantially up there, and of course the CS difference as well. Not too big, but a little bit of a lead starting to develop for Penguins on that Gnar. Of course, he has that lane pushed up. He has it warded in the river if the enemy jungler decides to show up. Jarvan showing up mid lane now, getting some great damage down on Orange Media. The smite going to put him within range. Not going to happen. Survives off the last tick of Ignite. One more tick was all he needed, but the flash got burned, and that is going to send Orange Media back to base. And he's going to be licking his wounds on that one. So I think all in all, great gank coming out from Zard.
Well, the thing about that gank is that Kief blew flash for that, and he didn't get anything. He actually blew both summoners, and Ari didn't even have to go to the base. I mean, her passive is going to be able to keep her alive, and just enough that there's no fear of dying. So that gank actually kind of worked out better for our red team, actually.
Enemy jungler Milkshake Dropping a ward there. Zark's going to spot him out. Nakathos coming in with Sankyo's support. He's going to get the root off the charm. Going over, hits Sankyo. Double taps on the ward there. Going to leave Milkshake in a good spot to retreat. Drops a ward to cover his exit as well. Invade didn't really get anything but some vision down, but everybody got out safe over on red side.
Yeah, and this top lane is going pretty decisively for Gnar. I mean, that's to be expected, though, because Gnar is sort of a lane bully, and Nasus takes just forever to ramp up until he can get a little bit of mana and really be able just to Q stack all the time, get some more armor. It's going to go pretty bad, but he's just getting pushed off the lane. It's pretty unfortunate, but maybe this dive is going to turn it around as Jarvan's coming up top.
Looks like Jarvan is making his way into the action. Flag and drag over onto Penguins. Penguins got no room to escape. The smite going to slow him down. The flash is chasing after him. Orange Media joining the fight a little bit too late here, though. The charm going to miss, the orb going to miss, and first blood going over to Venom on blue side.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of a misplay. I think that if he tried to go to his fountain or go to underneath the tower, I think he would have been safe. But he tried to go down to the river, tried to try and make a play to Ari, but she was just a little bit too far away. I think going to the tower probably would have been the safer play. But first blood.
First blood. Oh, but going in hard now against Prez. Prez gonna jump himself up out of there. So in a lane versus a Tristana, not bad to have a good jump like that. Nakathos coming in with the gank off the ultimate, gets the gold card down on a Mango Dave. The triple team coming in against Dave. He heals. Pop
he has flash. He has flash.
Onto him. He has flash. Not going to burn it. Held on to that summer there, but looks like Orange Media coming in now. Gets the charm out. Not going to hit though. Sankenyo going to take enough damage for him to fall. Yun Opa and Nakathos dueling it out now though. The last dash coming in from Orange Media. Fantastic pickup right there. That is going to be a 2-for-0 exchange coming out in favor of red side.
Oh, that's the
Sound of Light. The Jarvan Zark just he barely gets out right there. Great dragon position for Sound of Light. They're in a fantastic spot now to get themselves back into this. Well, they weren't really hardly out of this game to begin with, though. They're down about 500 gold at this point. Jarvan sneaking a peek over the wall with the flag. Looks like he wants to spy on the action and possibly go for a steal here. Dragon getting low enough to make the steal happen. Sankenyo going to want to fire something over the wall. They are pulling the dragon out. Very smart move to pull that dragon out. And red team going to pick up the first dragon of the game. So Sound of Light in a really solid position.
Yeah, there was no smite on Pantheon. I didn't even notice. So that was very, very risky. But you know what? It's going to pay off for them because that's a really early dragon. Get the first dragon before 9 minutes means that everything else set in motion is going to be like really in your favor. And there's a high probability that you're going to actually hit five dragons at a time that it's useful. Not at like the 50-minute mark, but at a time that possibly around 35 minutes, 40 minutes.
It's a good time to have a dragon in your pocket. Mango Dave and Yun Opa getting back into this. They are just shy of 6. Of course, Prez has hit 6. Gnar going in with his Mega Nard. The Gnar ult knocking Lone Wolf against the wall. He pops his ultimate as well, gets that health boost, and skates on out of there. So he's going to be safe. Penguins finding his Mega Nard, wearing off now. That's going to give him a little bit of a speed boost here. He's using the bounce. He's getting in onto Lone Wolf. He doesn't have the ignite.
Oh, the gank, bottom lane. Oh, the jump.
Yun Opa, the ignite, gonna take him out. Malkathos getting a really good gank gold card off there. Lone Wolf was pushed back up against his turret in the top lane, and Zark just covering for mid. So good little retaliation gank there coming out for Team Venom.
And the gank mid, yeah, coming in. Hits the charm though. And the ult.
Gold card going off on Orange Media, but Jarvan not able to help him capitalize on that. Penguins is all but tower diving in the top lane. He is keeping Lone Wolf pushed up against his turret. Solid strategy when you're going against a Nasus, just to try to prevent as much Q farm as you can.
Well, here's the thing about this matchup is that actually Nasus does better against Meganar than he does against Mininar. Mininar has just a little bit too much damage with his W, and he can actually sort of brawl Meganar, or he can't really brawl Mininar. Mininar, just with like the slow and all of the damage that he has with the 3 charges, is more of a threat. So Nasus is actually looking to push anytime that the transformation happens.
Milkshake picking up his red buff. Zark coming in for the steal here. He gets spotted out though. The ping's coming in. It looks like
He's in trouble.
both top laner and bottom mid laner are responding. Zark having to flag and drag over the Baron pit in order to get out of that bit of trouble. He just arrived a little bit too late for the steal there. Good prediction attempt, but didn't pay off. Sankenyo going in hard against Yan Opa, gets the exhaust down. Buster shot going to move him back, give Opa a little bit of breathing room, but Prez is raining rockets down on both bottom laners here. They just haven't been able to recover from the lane matchup.
Yeah, but they're going to turn it around here, possibly Pantheon gank.
Milkshake coming in with the gank, gets the stun off onto Prez. Opa keeping himself alive, barely has to get without a range. Sanko rocket jump going to make that happen. That leaves Milkshake and Mango Dave in plenty good position, so long as Dave doesn't good guy headbutt Sankenyo away. Gonna step onto the other side. No, he needed to get the headbutt off
Minion
there.
block. Minion block stopped him from being able to walk around and headbutt him out.
Oh man, that is really unfortunate. But red side not in a terrible position right now. They're sitting down by 1,000 gold, and it's still anybody's game. They're the only ones that have a dragon yet this game, so you got to factor that into their favor as well.
Yeah, I mean, red team is not... They don't have to win the race, so to speak. They're doing pretty well. They have the good lanes. What they just need is a couple favorable fights to happen, and they're going to really just sort of demolish this team. Because as good as TF is, as good as a lot of Nasus is, it's just not... They just don't have the blow potential. They don't have the late game power. It's going to be really uphill for them just based on their pick. So I'm really rooting for them, but it's going to be a close game.
You know, Corki's such a strong mid-game champion, and I think Opa's really betting on the late game. He picked a champion that scales really well in the late game. Milkshake finding some trouble here. Orange Media as well. Ends up getting forced out of the fight by Zark. Opa flashing in, gets the kill, gets the reset on his W. He ends up taking tons of damage. Lone Wolf joining the fight from the top lane. Prez getting in there with some rockets. Auto attack's going to take that one out thanks to help from Lone Wolf. Mango Dave has to flash up out of that one, and that's going to be more gold going over to Venom. So they have established themselves a good position here, but of course on Lone Wolf's absence, Penguins taking out that top lane tower. Going to try to get that all the way down just as a consolation prize, and that is going to go ahead and go over. Sound of Light taking that turret out, but Team Venom in the bottom lane retaliating with another turret. Sankenyo and Makathos want to make this happen on the mid lane turret, but they're not going to have enough time. Orange Media and Milkshake showing up now to disrupt that party.
Well, if they're good about it, they can get to this dragon, because blue team is weak right now. They have all their money, they have everything sitting in the bank, so they really want to go out and buy. And so if red team can sneak a dragon, possibly in the next 10 seconds, they're going to be really far ahead, and it's basically going to be the equalizer.
Good sweeper coming out from Milkshake here, and dragon spawning. Jumping into the pit now, and red team has themselves an excellent position to make something happen here. They want to try to clear out vision. They want to maintain vision of that area. Blue team wisely denying them that opportunity. They know that dragon is up. It is in contention, and right now Venom have to grab this dragon. Orange Media on the chopping block. He's got to ult out. Malkathos gets the stun off onto him. He's got to use the second charge of his ultimate to dash up over the wall. That's going to put that ult on cooldown for any dragon fights that might be coming up. Open Prez really duking it out here. Both of them giving a lot of respect to one another. Opa's in trouble here, though. Ends up getting stunned. Wild card auto attack. That's a dead AD carry on red side.
So. Yeah, that's just really unfortunate that they came at the time of the dragon. It was just not being prepared, but big fight right now.
Joining the team fight. That's going to be one down. Mango Dave up next. He's going to fall. Last auto attack. Wildcard coming out from Malkathos. They have got solid control of this dragon area. And with 5 members up, there's absolutely nothing Sound of Light can do to them at this point.
Yeah, that's going to tie the dragons up, and that's going to give our blue team just a really nice 3,000 gold lead in this fight. And that's unfortunate that Tristana got caught right before the fight broke out. I mean, that sort of spiraled into a couple things, but maybe there can be a pick here. Oh, the flash.
Malkathos having to flash up out of that one, got really spooked when Yanokba showed up. Of course, they're having to limp back to their base, lick their wounds.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was mission successful. They got what they wanted. They got the dragon, they got a blue buff, they got themselves some kills, and now they're in a really, really comfortable position where they're 3,000 gold on top of red team. And even though that they're a mid-range team, they're sort of mid-game power spike, they're using it well. Corky's just about a Trinity Force, and once that happens, I think he becomes like the strongest champion on the map. So
I would say yes.
Yeah, so it's basically going to come down to the mid-game team fight, and that's basically going to lock it up. And I think they're about 60% of the way there, 70% of the way there. One more team fight like the last one, and it's going to be their game to lose.
Probably looking at about 6-7 minutes until that Triforce gets completed. Once it does, the map really opens up to Prez. He's got a lot of opportunities. Opa's not going to be able to duel him anymore, all things being equal. Dave,
well, he's got the gold in his bank account, so it's just a matter of waiting for him to go shop, and he's got Trinity Force. But they're going to turn this around here.
Yanopa getting exhausted. Prez firing rockets. He is low on mana. Malkathos joining the fight. That's going to be Mango Dave going down there. Opa is very low. Pops the heal. Malkathos chasing after him. Gets the gold card.
No.
Opa let him have that one. He turned to hit. Got stunned. Got hit by the TFQ. Big misplay from Opa.
That's unfortunate. And Alistair was about 3 seconds away from having his ult, and that would have gotten him out of that fight pretty easily. So just really, really, really unfortunate timing for red team, or possibly great timing for blue team, depending on how you look at it.
Penguins getting engaged on by Zark. The gold card going to stun him out. Demacia putting the barrier down. Penguins trying to flash up out of that one. Another kill going over to Venom, 12-4, and they have solidified their position as the leaders on this game. 5,000 gold in their favor now. Zark looking to try to steal away from Milkshake. Milkshake looked like he spotted him by pulling away from the buffs there, from the neutral camp. When he saw the neutral camp heading toward the brush, that was really really advanced strategy right there. He didn't have any wards. He had a feeling that Jarvan, Zark was sitting in his brush, pulled away from the neutral camp and saw it walk toward the brush, it looked like. So that gave him plenty of clue that he needed to back off. Yeah,
very close game so far. Really smart plays on both sides. Geez, I mean, at this point, anyone can still win. It's that point, but blue team chokehold is coming down, and it looks like they're going to go all in on the Quirky bot.
As might think it's a good time to head back and grab that extra bit of support from his team. He's got his Trinity Force. Lone Wolf
Ghost, Nasus Ghost.
Making the ghost play here. Mango Dave going to neutralize that, but Lone Wolf makes up the distance quite substantially. Lone Wolf getting exhausted. He is by himself now. 4 members of Sound of Light joining the fight. Lone Wolf just taking tons of damage and dishing it out, but in the end it was a 5v4 situation, and Sound of Light did everything they needed to right there. There is nobody on Venom right now that can respond to that 5-man bottom somewhere else on the map or in bottom lane. So they played the numbers advantage very well to their favor that fight. That was very good for them.
Yeah, that was like a 5v1. Nasus was just tanking. I think he tanked Nara ultimate, he tanked Pantheon damage, he tanked a lot of stuff there. So, I mean, that's just a sign of how strong our blue team really is, that Nasus basically can 1v5 at this point, and still almost kill Alistair. So, I mean, they're not over, but they're in a tricky spot. But more fights like that, and they're going to be back in this game pretty easily.
You take a look at Nasus's items. He's got the Frozen Heart, he's got a Glacial Shroud and a Kindle Gem. already, on top of his tier 2 boots. So he's doing pretty well for himself. 6,200 gold earned so far this game. That's higher than most people on the map. If you don't look at our 80 carries, he's got the highest gold total on the map. So he's doing pretty well for himself.
Yeah, and if you don't count Twisted Fate, I mean, Twisted Fate's sitting on just a pile of cash. He's got 6 kills and 4 assists.
Wow.
He's Oprah rich. He's the Harpo rich.
Yeah, that 7 didn't even register on my radar. It was
Whoa!
so high. Centennial going in onto Orange Media. Media has to flash up out of that one. Malkathos joining the fight, throws the cards out. Zark going in with the ultimate here. Gets one down. Double kill going over to Jarvan. Prez getting damage down onto Penguins. He's going to fall. That's a 4-4-0 exchange. Young Opa was nowhere near that fight. He wants to come in. He wants to play cleanup crew here. Is he going to have the damage? He doesn't have nearly enough to get down onto Prez. He went and 1v5 that situation, 1v4 that situation, and ended up costing him. He didn't have the damage output in order to make the plays that he's capable of making.
Yeah, that was a pretty strong 1v4 or 1v5 outcome. So obviously our blue team got really far ahead of that. Dragon's up. They don't look like they're going to try and do it without the Jarvan. It's a little too risky, so maybe they'll just give that one up. Maybe they can shop and get there in time, but regardless, that was pretty good for them. And I don't see our red team coming back from that. Just based on the coordination, just how well they played that mid-game team fight. They knew that they were stronger, and they just sort of went YOLO and duked it out.
Yeah, I think Venom are running a workshop on how to shut down Sound the Light, specifically Yanopa in the bottom lane. And I think if they get a really strong counter pick matchup against Opa and they shut him down early, a lot of his technical ability is just not going to play through. He's going to end up getting blown up, and he's not going to be able to deal near enough damage in order to capitalize on his late game mechanics.
Yeah, I mean, they're just so scared to fight right now too. It's part of having just a really kind of squishy team. I mean, oh, this fight.
Unfortunate for Milkshake there. He just could not escape the CC. Got a little bit of help over the wall from Orange Media. Mango Dave getting caught out now as well, and this game has just snowballed in favor of Venom. Looks like they are positioning themselves to win the first game ever of House Party 5v5.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good for them. I mean, this Dragon's pretty much in the bank. This game's pretty much in the bank. First win, pretty much in the bank. I mean, they're just really far ahead, and they have those mid-game champions plus a Nasus for the late game. And Nasus has already shown that he's pretty much unkillable. He's stacking more armor on top of a Frozen Heart, so there's not a whole lot they'll be able to cut through. And yeah, I think that they're going to probably start looking to set up a Baron pretty soon and just take that and probably just end the game, if they even need to. They might just march down mid and siege it out.
Yeah, I think a tower dive is in order here, and I really think that Venom are in a great position to survive that, to make it into a 4-for-1 or even better in their favor, and just use that to push for the first inhibitor, maybe even their Nexus tower.
Well, it looks like they have 4 members heading to Baron, so it looks like they're possibly going to try and start securing it, thinking about warding it, try and make a pick, possibly. Corky's on his way as well, so they're going to have all 5 members around mid, and catch on mid.
Is it right here. Zark in a bad spot. Good knockup coming from Mango Dave. Zark gets ignited. His teammate backing him up there had to piece up out of that one. That's going to really put a damper on Venom's ability to take this Baron. It doesn't look like they're going to position for that. Good outcome for Red side. They saved that one off for a while, but now they're on the defensive on their turret, and Venom they have complete control. Look at the ward coverage. Complete control of this jungle here. Good clearing out coming from Sound of Light, reestablishing their position in their own jungle.
Yeah, they're pretty far ahead. All they're doing is they're trying to keep the jungle clear, try and maybe set up a pick, but actually our red team has pretty good ward coverage themselves. I mean, they have good wards on both sides of the jungle, so they're going to know if anything starts going down. But yeah, they're definitely fighting an uphill battle though at this point.
Lone Wolf pushing out that top lane. going through the jungle to try to join the fight here. Mango Dave just barely
Forces
making it
the
out
Alistar.
of that one. He's not going to have that ultimate available should a team fight erupt here, but it doesn't look like Venom are trying to get a team fight out of this. It looks like they're just slowly poking away. They're pushing the side lanes out, getting objectives where they can, and just backing off when the odds aren't clearly in their favor. It's a really smart execution, a really smart long-term base siege coming from them.
Well, I think that their plan is basically just to sort of drown out. They're just trying to starve Red Team. There's really no pressure to take Baron at this point. It's sort of a 50-50. Nice dodge, nice flash from Jarvan to dodge that Ari charm. So I think they're just trying to starve out the Red Team by taking all the jungle, taking all the objectives, and possibly forcing to dive pretty soon once they can poke them down low.
That turret is down. Orange Media gets jumped on. Zark getting a beautiful pickup there. Prez going to be putting the damage down. That's going to be good for another death. Mango Dave is exhausted going in here. He's not going to be able to provide any crowd control for his team. And the very last member of Sound of Light, Penguins, going to fall there. Prez going to pick up that kill, and it looks like this may be the game here.
It's a clean ace. That's GG, I think. I don't think that Red Team can do anything at this point.
The minions are getting cleared out, and it looks like Venom going to be content with just one turret. They are playing this super safe and getting out of there while they can.
Yeah, no real reason not to, I guess. The only thing now is that it sort of opens up a possible Baron play, but it doesn't look like... Oh, nice pick.
Prez gets caught out by Orange Media. He's going to survive that one, though, thanks to the shield there. Orange Media now in a bad spot. But Yanopa bringing up the back of this fight. Mango has to keep teammates off of Opa. Looks like they're going to take that gate back into the base here. And they put a good hurt on the blue side. Zark, he's dead now. Of course, Milkshake dead as well. I really feel like their best chance here is to go for a Baron. Opa, of course, he wants to stay in this bottom lane. He's got a little bit of breathing room for the first time in the game. He wants to farm it out and just try to get as big as he can.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a little bit too late now. I mean, the opportunity to do Baron sort of it slipped away right now. Our blue team is back, bought. They're headed right to Baron, or at least they're headed to sort of mid lane where they can contend anything. And it's going to be more of the same, the slow struggle and sort of the starvation of Red Team.
Sound of Light putting vision down onto Baron, clearing Venom's vision away from that area as well. Smart move. They know that right now it's pretty much free Baron for Venom. That bottom lane inhibitor was taken out, but thanks to Yanopa, they were able to push that bottom lane out and get themselves a few minutes of breathing room. But Venom just deciding to clear out vision on that Baron pit and then sweep up. So it looks like they're going to try to meet Sound of Light somewhere in the jungle, possibly get an Ari pick, or possibly get a Yanopa pick. Not too sure what they're going to find in this jungle, but Sound of Light not really giving them a whole lot of opportunities. They're moving as a group and staying together, and it looks like they're executing on a formulated team strategy here.
Yeah, I mean, they know that with the inhibitor and bot lane down, they don't have to fight. All they need to do is just to keep starving out the Red Team. But it looks like they're going to go for a Baron, which is actually a really good call because they have a really good ward setup, so they're going to know if Red Team's coming, and they can pretty much spike this down instantly.
Looked like Milkshake was trying to clear wards out there. This Baron is going down quick. No response coming across from Sound of Light. So they're going to have to head back to base. They got to know that Baron is in the pocket of Venom at this point, and Venom has complete control over the map. Gold total solidly in their favor, almost 20,000 gold in favor of Venom. So not too much right now that Sound of Light can do. Just hang out underneath their one remaining turret and just concede everything else.
Yeah.
Jarvan going in for the dunk there. That is going to spell first death. Milkshake going down. Mango Dave